I do now that middle ages get me by the hand? And the careers I discovered in college have faded away. How long can I make my living with my guitar in this old-timey band? I'm concerned but not really worried. Hey, what can I say? I'll be one of those guys with a metal detector, looking for treasure in the park. One of those guys with a metal detector, far too harmless to worry about after dark. In my all-boy high school, the Jesuits tried to prepare me for life. I could be a Latin teacher or maybe a man of the cloth. We read the labors of Hercules, the Iliad, and Chaucer's Miller's Wife. The guidance counselor had a nervous breakdown. Hey, it wasn't my fault. I'll be one of those guys with a metal detector, looking for treasure in the park. One of those guys with a metal detector, far too harmless to worry about after dark.
Uh, Good evening, everyone. It's Thursday night. It's the Big Detecting Show. Thanks very much for joining me and not watching a pig's bladder being kicked around a grass pitch with England playing tonight, and watching the show, as we have a very, very special guest on tonight, which is why Dave's got me to introduce them. They're coming from far overseas, so please accept any issues with internet or voice, because they're very, very far away. So, Luke, if you'd like to kindly bring on tonight's guest.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I thought
Good evening, Adrian.
I thought it was Bodger and Badger.
No Bodger as yet.
Okay, slight technical hitch. How are you, Dave? You all right?
I'm okay. How are you, Adrian?
Yeah, busy week.
I have to behave in a manner indifferent to me tonight, don't I?
Yes, I'm going to interview you tonight. So, medical history, ex-girlfriends, and everything. Who you go to, what barber, everything inside out.
I'll do it myself. Firstly, I've got to apologise. Tonight's advertised guest, Stephen Taylor from World War II Treasure Hunters. Is it Treasure Hunters or Relic Hunters? Treasure? Relic?
Yes.
You know what I mean. Sadly, he's unable to join us tonight because he's had to go work tonight instead. So he's unavailable. So instead, well, let's see what happens.
Just got to put up with us. So
looking forward to my delivery of lemon drizzle cake tomorrow.
Yeah, I just hope the bar's good, and that's about it. Mr. Gary Cook owes me a few beers, so looking forward to it. I haven't packed my pants or anything yet. It's all going to be a mad rush because I got work tomorrow. So last Detectival I went to, I forgot pants, as you recall, Dave. So I had to do an emergency shop.
Well, don't forget, next week we won't actually need any pants.
No, next week is, I think last I saw on the Facebook poll, 67% of people were detecting naked. So it's actually grown quite a lot. I'm quite interested in a lot of nude detectorists as well. Nude. I've got a special Velcro combat jacket and trouser holster for the pinpointer and stuff. So should be all right. And jelly shoes, because I like being close with nature. They're transparent, so I don't think they'll affect the whole thing.
Sweet.
Anyway.
So I've just read down below that Mr. Graham Stokes, he won't be able to attend tomorrow because he's got COVID. Hope you get well soon, young man.
Oh dear.
And good evening to everybody watching, of course.
Yeah, and especially Graham Dempsey, who's watching it in the pub.
Yes, he's had to take Natasha for a meal, probably because he's not going to be there for a few days.
Yeah, my wife only said to me today, she said, Detectival's next weekend, isn't it? And I went, yeah. She said, so you're not here this weekend and next weekend? I went, no.
Blame me.
It'll give the housing manager plenty of time to organise the estate, so she'll be more than happy with me out the house. No crumbs or empty glasses or anything, so all good. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Rodney Cook. Are you, Dave?
Oh, yes. I've packed the car. That's all sorted. It's going through my head. I've had to write letters on my hand to remind me to do certain things when I finish the show, because I'm like, oh, I forgot this. So certain letters will indicate certain things. So that'll be full by the time I finish.
Is that Radox R?
No.
Oh,
no, it was Rabbit.
Because last time you brought Radox, and that caused absolute carnage in the hotel room when you put it in there. I slipped. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
Fell on top of you when you got out and you were drying. It was a nightmare.
This is Rabbit. It should be RR, really, shouldn't it?
Rampant. Yeah. Children. Kerry Fuller's said only 67%. I know, it's quite shocking. Oh, what's that you got there, Dave? with a QR code on it.
This, Adrian, is issue 7 of the of a see-through Gary Cook of the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine, made freely available this weekend at the Rodney Cook Memorial Rally.
Can I have a quick look inside it? Can I have a quick flick?
Certainly. And today, issue 8 has gone to press for Detectival edition. Who's that there? Who's that? Is that Phil Cool? No, it's Dean Stainton. Who's that there? Comments are clean about. Who's that there? It's that Shane Holcroft character, the Savage Should Search You. Who's that? With a feather-like touch. Talking of rampant rabbits.
Did you like that? A feather-like touch?
Very much.
You don't often hear that word, do you?
No.
But yeah, that's available.
Oh, and a Detecticon hordes. All sorts going on in there. Looking fan-dabby-dozy. Whoever's created it is should be very proud of themselves.
Yeah, I think, yeah, definitely.
Pat yourself on the back. There you go.
Yes,
there'll be lots of. We have ordered enough, so we'll be able to still pass them along at Detectival as well next week. God, my car's going to be even heavier next week, isn't it?
And yes, it is, and it is a totally different issue. It's not just a different front cover, but yeah, looking forward to giving those away.
Which a young Mr. Gaylor was still working very hard on making changes last night.
Yes, yeah, but it's done and dusted, and hopefully people enjoy looking at it, and also the fantastic advertisers that support us.
Yes, absolutely,
and giving it away for free, and it's going to get bigger and better. So fingers crossed. But tonight, Dave, you're the host, aren't you?
No, you're the host. I'm the guest.
Yeah, I'm the host. Yeah, I'm the hostess with the mostest. So I'm going to ask you some questions tonight.
Yeah, crack on.
If anyone in the chat wants to ask Dave a question, not related to hair products or things like that, or Linda McCartney food.
It's midnight blue, by the way. It's supposed to be.
When, Dave, did you decide on producing, and why the Big Detecting show?
Well, it goes back to originally now. What year are we in? What year is it?
2020.
Detectival 2018. We were asked, would we do a live report from the field at Detectival? Stop it, you're making me uneasy. Stop staring at me. Am I doing it right? Yeah. We were asked to produce a do an interview, basically, and a report of what was going on at Detectival 2018 by a guy in America who ran, that's better, the All Metal Mode podcast in America called Mike Hare.
Lovely man. Anyone listen to him, subscribe. Brilliant.
So we produced a show, and it ended up being me and Luke walking around the field for 2.5 hours with my phone battery going like that. And a half-hour chat with us ended up interviewing all and sundry at the event. So we come away from that, and it ended up as a pilot, if you will. And we were asked, any chance you'd be interested in. I think Luke and Mike have been talking, and would you like to do an All Metal Mode UK? So it was a UK version of the podcast, which I kept saying no to. In the end, I went, all right, go on then. So we started doing that, really. But it goes back a little bit before that. With Lance Goolsby, Lance Goolsby, Global Detecting Adventures podcast, because we've been working along with him. I've been on the show as a guest now and again, doing a news report, more or less. And Luke has started, and then I started to organise guests for him. And then obviously that continued on All Metal Mode. We carried that on. Sadly, All Metal Mode UK came to an end, and Luke said, well, even though I moan, we both sort of came up, well, it'd be a pity for us to not have the show for people who are listening. And obviously, there is a niche there for it. So we cracked on doing it. And I think it was the start of last year, really. We'd done that for a while. And then Luke said, right, we need to do it as a TV version, doing the stream as it is now. We tried to do it at first as a dual thing via doing this and running it as a podcast as well, but there was just too much farting about. So we've evolved. It's come to it as today. Yourself came on as a co-host. Lots of wonderful guests. Lots more coming. I'll be accosting multiple people over the next 2 weeks to come on the show, and there you go. That's how the Big Detective Show came about.
Yeah.
The name actually changed a number of times as well. It was the Big Metal Detecting Podcast, and then the Big Metal Detecting Show. There's a lot of people didn't understand what a podcast was, people of the older generations. So we had to evolve until we came up with this, which is quite fitting, really. So
yeah, and I like the Union Jack as well, because some people, you know, when you're on YouTube, you sometimes think, oh, that looks interesting. And you click on it, and all it is, well, I shouldn't say it, are overseas people constantly getting iron and happy with stuff.
Luke made the original logo, and then because we wanted to evolve the show a little bit more and look like we're in a studio and all that, I asked a friend of mine I've knew for years, because he designs posters for the events that he runs, so said, any chance you could come up with something? And this came up, and it was meant to be fair. It encapsulates everything, doesn't it?
It was good, and it was lovely, because I don't know how the hell you got hold of me, but I think it was MySpace or something, or you faxed me, I can't remember. I was on Mike Hare's show podcast, what, 3 years ago?
Yeah,
and it was a really nice podcast, because Mike's quite an interesting guy. I've never seen him, but it's almost as if he lives in a log cabin in the middle of nowhere and relies on a sawdust toilet outside, because he's always got trouble as the illnesses and things. But he's a very good detectorist, and he's had a lot of machines, and he is really interesting.
Oh, he's very knowledgeable, and to be fair, there's not many people I've spoke to as technically gifted when it comes to machines. Yeah. I mean, there was shows I actually, honest to God, one night we were doing a show on the podcast, so obviously you couldn't see me, and I actually fell asleep because he was talking technical.
Yeah,
and the person opposite was technical, and I did have a clue.
His voice as well. I think he chews tobacco as well. He's proper Hilly-Billy.
Yeah.
But more importantly, Dave, Kerry Fuller said, if you're a biscuit, what type of biscuit would you be?
Custard
I like
cream.
that question,
Custard
Kerry.
Cream.
Really?
Custard cream. All day long. Best biscuit there is.
Weak at the corners, because there's a slight issue there at weak at the corners. They do break.
No. I bite them, split them in two, eat the top bit, and then chew around the custard, and then eat the rest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's interesting. So how did you meet Luke? Because we don't see Luke much. He's quite secretly in the background, and his wife Laura doing lots of things with like a big room full of computers and all broadcasting equipment.
Oh
and
yeah,
it's
like the
very
old
complicated.
It's like the old NASA 1960s things, but
he uses. I think he uses a 1967 Marconi Glamtron, which still uses valves. And we did have one break the other week, and I think it cost $2,500 to, because this is obviously satellite produced all over the world. How did you meet Luke? How did that come about?
I was obviously doing the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine, and I was sharing news articles from the website to different groups. And Luke kindly asked me, would I be able to share the articles to his originally, what was the original called? Dirty Digger. Something like that. I can't remember now. Sorry, Luke. Dirt fishing. UK dirt fishing. I got there in the end. Would I share them to that? So I did. Befriended each other on Facebook. Occasionally had a chat. Stalked him for a while, etc. And then he said and then I was looking for somebody to assist with adding articles on the website, really. And he said, yeah, I'd like to do that. And sadly, he's now realized that he hasn't got time to do it because it's as busy as it is. No, it's a big thing. We have it running on a daily basis. We have multiple articles. And if it wasn't for Luke, I honestly don't think I would have probably been still doing the magazine today. I never did it to be a bit part, and we certainly wouldn't have the printed version in existence, because it was Luke who pushed for that and basically kick-started that.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. Sorry, Tom Trussell's just said, do you like, well, he's just put Garibaldi.
Wasn't he the lead singer of Take That?
No, I do love a Garibaldi, actually. I haven't had one for years. I love a Garibaldi. Yeah, no, biscuits. Always ends up with biscuits, doesn't it? Or
I've got a big pack of custard creams in my bag for the weekend.
Well, I've got a bit of a dilemma, because I've got a variation of biscuits in the cupboard, and I do like taking biscuits with me. And as you know, I'm type 1 diabetic, so I have to watch my sugar levels. And it's all, a biscuit always ticks all the boxes. Really does.
I'm a type 2, so we now need a type 3 just for a full house, really, don't we?
Yeah. Well, maybe Luke could be a type 3.
Type 3 diabetic.
He's very thin, so
yes.
Yeah, maybe he is.
We'll gift him that.
Going back to you, Dave, what got you into detecting originally? I know your dad. There's a very interesting story which a lot of people probably might know, might not know in the chat, of a lovely picture of you and your dad with a C-scope many years ago in 1954, I think.
Something like that, or 77, 78, yeah.
What got you into it? What got you into detecting?
Well, obviously that. My dad was going metal detecting in the 70s with my two uncles, Benlock Beach, Frodsham Caves, wherever, public sites where things weren't as, laws weren't as they are today. So you could go to a lot of places, basically. So that was like the initial, and I can vaguely remember it. I remember when I went to school once, when I was very small, 4 or 5, and we were asked what we'd done the weekend. And I said, went metal detecting with my dad and uncle. And the teacher said, and what did you find? I went, loads of cow shit. So that was what they said. So there you go. That was my early days. Apparently, my uncle, one of his favourite stories to me was that when I was little, my favourite word was archaeology. I can't remember that. So it's always been there
really?
or thereabouts.
Favourite word? Yeah. Not Kate? Just archaeology.
No,
It's quite a complicated word.
Kate came later. So archaeology was that, and then growing up, my family, we went all over. We had so many adventures going all over North Wales and the Northwest, visiting historical locations. Holidays always included castles and such like. So that's always been with me in a sense. I'll be honest. Time Team kick-started that passion. I started with a guy called Steve Parsons back in 2002, 2001, 2002. We were going to Anglesey more or less every weekend, and we were doing I forgot the word because I'm tired. We were metal detecting on sites in Anglesey on behalf of Cadw. Obviously, everything got reported back. And there was a guy from the Stone Science Centre in Pentraeth in Anglesey. He was basically cascading that down to us to do the work for Cadw. We'd report back to him, etc., etc. So there was a nice thing there, and I was using then a Garrett analog, very old one. Can't even remember what it was. I don't think I had much luck. I didn't really know what I was doing, to be fair. And then from that, jump forward, I was for 15 years involved in another passion. Left that and decided, right, I'm going back to metal detecting. Oh, and in the meantime, I've been doing archaeology with Mark Ollie, who we had on the show, and we've discussed that at length.
Oh, yes, Mark Ollie, yeah.
So I come back to metal detecting probably now about 10 years ago, to the level that I'm doing it today, more or less.
I think it is just a perfect hobby for us, not very mature, but semi-mature people, because it's a bit physical. You can dig 100 holes in a weekend, and you walk a lot and carry a load of old tat with you, don't you? And it is the perfect hobby. And it's interesting, down in the ground, who's type 1 diabetic as well. It's very good if you're, without going into complications, type 1, type 2. Type 2 is something that can be hereditary or passed on, and type 1 is an autoimmune thing where pancreas goes all pear-shaped for a virus, stress, or whatever. They don't know.
A literal pear-shaped.
Well, it does. It all goes wrong. It just.
Does it? No, does it actually look the shape of a pear? Because that'd be quite.
I don't know. Mine's probably more like an old shoe, or like an old 1970s Clark shoe dried out. But 1 minute you're living normal life and fine, and then suddenly you get a virus or something, going to hospital like I did, and they said, "Oh, you got." I thought they were going to say I had cancer because I used to smoke, and they told me I had that, and I was just like, "Oh." And they went, "No, it's quite serious." I was like, "But you can live with it. It's like all these things, and but it's not treatable. It's just you got it for the rest of your life." But I'm fortunate because at 18, breakfast was 20 Benson Hedges and sausage roll, can of Coke, and a Twix. Whereas now it's more like muesli or 10 Rothmans instant. But
can I just point out, Adrian, in the chat, it's being suggested that you and I aren't very mature.
Well, I'm 32 next year. No, 36, sorry, waste next year. But no, we're mature. We're mature. Adrian will bring the big red book out in a minute, Gareth Howard. Yeah, I will. But no, it's interesting, Dave, because you also had another passion which some of our viewers might have seen and might not, but was your I don't like saying it the wrong way because I could say something stupid like ghost busting, or I could say investigating the paranormal. But it is more the paranormal. You did that for quite a few years, and you've been on television, haven't you?
Yeah. I was basically paranormal investigator, researcher, ufologist, cryptozoologist, the study of animals anomalous to the British Isles, let's say, big cats and such like. But yeah, multiple TV programs. I've done Japanese, Canadian ghost cases in Canada. That was massive over there. Richard and Judy, the Great Unexplained.
You met Richard and Judy?
Do you know what? He's massive. He's like the tallest man I've ever met in my life.
Oh, tall.
No.
Yes, you did tell me a story. And Judy Finnegan.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, multiple TV programs. The scientific side of the paranormal, not the woo-woo, I see dead people, let's go in for a paper, boo, which is more or less a rally, paying to go into a location that inevitably has no paranormal activity just to spook yourself up and have arseholes taking your money and telling you it's haunted to scare you a little bit.
Yeah.
But the scientific side of stuff where you're actually looking at the physiology, the medical, all the different aspects where if you can do measurements of certain things and discount them, and you look at the medical and discount things, etc., when it comes to the final bits, what's left, then you really got to call it paranormal because there's no explanation for it at this point or at that point.
It's interesting because I think October when's October the 31st fall? Probably a Monday or a Tuesday, but we should have a Halloween special on detectorists' stories because I've had a few things happen to me when detecting. Chris Rogers, Addicted to Bleeps, had a great video up, and my mate James, who's in the chat, week before, we've got a Roman site we go on, and it's beautiful, it's lovely. It's a lot of corroded Romans. The ground's very noisy, very mineralized, but it's near a stream. What's that?
That's right. Kerry's asked me what she's thinking, so I'm saying 9.
Oh, and he phoned me up. He went, Adrian. I went, what? James, you're in the chat. Say you get. He said, I'm really freaked out. He said, I've just heard voices, and he's in the middle of the field in nowhere. I went, what do you mean? And then he said, heard a whipping on a tree. And he phoned me up. He was freaked out, and I told him to take pictures just in case he did get a rabbit or something, or a badger attacked him or something. But there are things in there that we hear and see. But have you come across anything where you've looked at it and or seen something or heard something and thought, no explanation, but I guarantee I saw that or heard that.
We did do a
What's the
show.
most top one?
We did do a show with Julian and Digger Dorm about the paranormal, but I'd love to go back there and visit that again with people's stories. The best one you'll hear inevitably is Nick West's, which I'll tell you about over the weekend. Well, there
I've
you go.
heard
You
that
know
one.
it. Absolutely amazing story.
But you haven't had
Eagle
anything.
Eye DJI. That's your buddy, isn't it? Eagle Eye DJI, James.
Yeah.
Yes, I did meet. The first time I met Derek Corner was in 1998 when we were recording on Granada Breeze. What was it called? Psychic Lifetime, it was called, where he and Yvette Fielding started out. And I first met Derek Acora when I was having a wee. That's the first time I met Derek. I went in the toilet and he was next to me and we got chatting. Anyway, I'll reveal something to you now. True story, gospel. The evidence is at my mate's house. Myself, Steve Meara and Steve Yarwood actually developed and came up with Most Haunted. It was originally made for Granada, but Granada decided it wasn't for their demographic. So instead, their cameraman at the time was a guy called Carl Beatty. He was married to Yvette Fielding, and he took the idea and made Most Haunted. So he actually came up with that originally. You asked about the most intriguing thing I've seen. The place that we were at, we were actually doing a TV documentary with a guy who used to be a cameraman on Most Haunted. And we were discussing something. We came up, wouldn't it be a good idea if you had a telly program where 4 or 5 people sat around a table talking about the paranormal and different stuff? Guess what? He went back and told Carl Beatty at the time they had the paranormal channel. And lo and behold, came the great unexplained debate.
Yeah.
On one of the episodes, I was asking him about something, and I basically said to him that Most Haunted was bullshit and all faked, and you should have seen him blow up. And you watch me, I go like that. My work is done. Sit back and smile. But the most peculiar thing, a site in Utoxeter, a hotel, and all manner of things were said to be going on there. Now we actually were able to identify and explain many of the things where things were changed and them experiences stopped. But I actually went in the very, very first time I went in there. I'd gone a week later than other people because I was away, and I said there was a smell, a very, very, very pungent smell at a certain part of the building. And I said it to someone, and they were like, writ it down, because several other people had the same experiences in our team. The smell was Play-Doh. Now, you wouldn't believe this, but there's only 3 different things that Play-Doh, the smell of Play-Doh. Play-Doh itself, a 1970s aftershave by Play-Doh, which smelled like Play-Doh. Who'd want to wear that? And the third thing is a crushed South American beetle, which has that pungent aroma the same as Play-Doh. So it was a certain area, certain things were supposed to go on. So that was never explained. There was other things that people were suggested, but one in particular, Adrian, and on Gospel, I've actually got the report here somewhere still. There was a room that allegedly had blood appear on the shower curtain. So we had the master keys to this room. We had the video playing, two camcorders going. Or sorry, actually, we were using CCTV at this point. So one was in the room looking at the door, and the other one was in the bathroom looking at the shower curtain. Somebody went, we'd all got away, something to eat, come back. Everything's still recording, so there's nothing, nobody been in the room at all. Somebody went in to check, and there's blood on the shower curtain. So we took it away. It was analysed. We got the reports and everything for it, and it was blood. We couldn't afford to have it tested as to what type of blood it was, but there was blood on the shower curtain, and it was in an arterial splatter pattern as well. So it had an artery burst. So that is the most unexplainable and peculiar thing I've ever been witness to.
That's freaked me out. That's freaked me out. Oh, I don't know what it is. All stories like that, everyone likes listening to. Hopefully people in the chat aren't too bored with it, but it's something that I like, you like, and everyone enjoys, isn't it? It's all
Absolutely.
It's all one of those things, and you had a big involvement in it, and it's one of those things that when I chat to you about, and you come out with your stories, I think, oh, that's interesting. What were you? What got you? What stopped you doing that, Dave? Was it just time or work?
No, basically, I was sub-editor of a free online magazine, which is now the biggest of its type in the world in different languages. And things occurred, and me and the editor, who was my best friend at the time, we fell out over some of the things that went on within the magazine. And basically, that was the last straw. Several of it, all these paper boob groups that were popping up, and in the past we were able to go into a certain hall, for instance, and do an actual scientific study, where then you had to pay several £100s. Basically, it's like metal detecting, where you can normally go, and then people come in a group, take up all the local land, etc., etc., and you have to pay to go and dig. It's not dissimilar. So we just got pissed off and had enough. So that was that. Anyway, I'm going to have to now, Adrian, go over to the first draw of the evening, because it's the Just Detect draw time.
Good luck, everyone.
Better share the screen first, haven't I? Share the screen.
That's rude, isn't it? The host getting the.
Luke, could you share? Oh, yeah, there we go. So, can you see me? Can you see it even?
Yeah, we can see it.
Right. So, the prizes tonight are an LP £100 gift card. The second prize is a composite cleaning pencil kit. And the third prize is Just Detect merchandise. Now, where is it? I'm just going to give you some updates on Just Detect. There are some major things being announced next week at Detectival about it. Current statistics. Limited number of non-camping Detectival tickets are still available at detectivaltickets.com. Camping tickets are sold out. The top 5 countries currently on Just Detect are the UK with 2,091 fines, USA 106, Germany 98, Australia 51, Norway 37. The top 3 brands: Minelab 1,208 fines, XP 587, Nocta Macro 579. The top 5 members, the people who have put the most fines up there, are Jason Jones, Norfolk Button Boy, 240. Joshua Pierce, HH Detecting 113, Steve Shorters from Detectiveware UK 92, John Slade 70, and Limitless Exploration 62 fines. And the most popular detectors this week have been the Minelab CTX 3030 and the XP Deus. So I will roll the draw. So this should all be right now, because I actually was doing it wrong last week. So first prize, LP £100 gift card. And thank you, obviously, for Just Detect for doing this. All you need to do is sign up on Just Detect app, and in the prize box to enter the next draw, which I will tell you all about in a moment. And the winner of this week's £100 gift card is Andy Hutchinson. So congratulations, Andrew, for the composite cleaning pencil kit. See, it works now. I'm doing it properly. I saw Adrian G then.
I do need one. I'm running low. But isn't it great with Just Detect how it gives you the stats each week for the best detector and stuff like that? I like that. The more people that sign up, it will give us a... Kieran.
Kieran Smith has won the composite cleaning pencil and for the Just Detect merch. It is, as you say, all that information is readily available. And we've actually included some of the finds from June Detectival into the Detectival magazine for next week as well. And the winner of the Just Detect merch is Gordon Williams. So I believe you will be contacted via the app in your messages, I think. Don't quote me on that, but you will be contacted nonetheless. Now, next week's show, there won't be a show on Thursday night because I'll be travelling down to Detectival, as I presume will Luke, and Adrian will be fairly busy also.
Be flying.
So the next Just Detect draw is in 2 weeks' time. You can go onto your Just Detect app now, click on the fines box, no, not the fines box. That's something totally different. The prize box, and enter the next prize draw. And that prizes will be a Garrett Pro Pointer all-terrain. Second prize, a Bennett Roman Artifacts book. And finally, a composite cleaning pencil kit. So thank you to Graham Dempsey from the Composite Cleaning Pencil, and thank you to Just Detect, and good luck to everybody on next week's competition. There you go, Adrian.
Well done. Thank you, guest, for organising the tonight's draw on Just Detect.
Nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. It's them kind people at Just Detective organised it. They've just said, we'd like our weekly draws to be featured on the Big Detecting Show, and we're obviously more than happy to do that for them. So we must thank them, Mark, Karen, Luke, and Scott.
Mr. Holden, and Karen and Luke. It'll be interesting what they're announcing at Detectival next week. I hear it could be a big thing in the hobby that could be changing. So
I've been told it is a massive thing, but as close as I am to Luke and as close as I am to Scott and to Karen and Mark, nobody will tell me.
No, it will be interesting. So, but I suppose those who've got the Just Detect app would be alerted of it as well. I don't know, but
I would presume that would be the case. If not, we will the week following Detectival, so 2 weeks tonight, where our guest will be Mark Lawson, Gone Metal Detecting. We will be able, hopefully, to reveal everything about what that is. So there you go.
Yeah, be very, very interesting. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people talking in the chat tonight. It's quite busy, isn't it? Which is nice to see. But it would be even better, not that we get paid, Dave. I do my job in the day. You do your job in the day, don't you? People forget that. It'd be lovely if they just hit that little thumbs up on YouTube, wouldn't it? Just took that 1 second to click the thumbs up and write a lovely comment like, Dave, your hair looked lovely tonight, or Adrian, you look really thin again, or something like that. So if you're on Facebook, if you're watching it on YouTube, just give us a little like. We don't get any money out of it. We've got 6 people watching tonight, and that includes my son and daughter. So it'd be nice. Just take time out. If you can take time to put a comment, it'd be lovely to have.
Now, currently, we are streaming on the Peaky Finders Metal Detecting.
Yes.
Peaky Finders rallies and Metal Detecting Peaky Finders channel. I never get it right. We are going to be going over in the very near future. I'm not sure when, to our own dedicated channel, so people don't get confused, because a lot of people continue. We've got a lot of things. We've got the Peaky Finders, Luke's Peaky Finders. We've got the Archaeology Metal Detecting magazine. We've got the Big Detecting Show. So have a look for the Big Detecting Show Metal Detecting channel, something like that. There you go. So we will be going over to there in the coming weeks, but you will be kept fully abreast of that. Oh, there it is. Luke's reminded me to tell people to start subscribing.
Yes, I think
nothing on there yet, but there will be.
Yeah. So watch this space.
In fact, Luke, if you've got the time, can you pull up the channel so people can see what the actual name is? Because inevitably I'm wrong.
And we need to change the header on YouTube, but that will happen. But I think it'll.
Oh, Adrian, you've gone.
Won't it, Dave?
Oh, can I hear your voice, but I can't see you.
Do you know what?
What? Oh, he's back.
Sorry, I just dropped a coin in my slipper. Sorry, I've got all fines around my desk where I go metal detecting. Anything that's of good consequence, I put on my desk, and I've just opened up a bit of lead with a load of dirt in it. I don't quite know why I've done that, but that's irrelevant. So, Dave, going back to you, you actually have a real job where you get paid to support your family. So, people, do you right telling people of the show what you actually do as a job?
Certainly, I work at JCB. There's the channel, Big Detecting Show, Metal Detecting. I work at JCB, and I work on the paint line in the hydraulics business unit. So I spray the oversized rams on the offline, which are the massive ones, not the little ones that you see on JCBs, the massive ones. That's my page
Lot of
job.
dirt.
The rest of
Lot of
this,
dirt.
Adrian, is all a hobby. The magazine, the big detecting show, everything. Myself and Luke fund everything. The magazine, all the fees for that. Obviously, the streaming thing to do that. Everything comes out of our own pockets. We never made a profit out of this in any way, shape, or form. Sadly,
No.
but
Well,
I love doing it. Sadly,
yeah, but I think it's like I said earlier. It's a hobby that you meet people. You can. It's a bit like, I don't know, being in like a car club, but you don't get the Ferrari Testarossa driver turn up in white jeans and a muscle back vest.
it's like a car club that's actually not boring and it's interested instead.
Yeah. I mean, I only I'll quickly tell you a quick story. My brother phoned me up last night. He said, "Oh God!" He said he bought some golf clubs secondhand for his son off Gumtree. He went round this house near us and he bumped into an old school friend of mine, and got chatting. And he said, "Oh, what's Adrian doing now?" And he said, "Oh, he's still into his metal detecting." He went, "Oh, has he got into that bigger now?" And my brother said, "Yeah, he's out all the time." He said, "Oh, my dad's chairman of X."
He's the chairman of X, and that's all we're
What
getting
happened
up.
there?
Don't know, but he's the chairman
Did
of
I
X. That's
disappear?
what we got. Chairman of what? Chairman of what? We're all hanging on bated breath.
He's a chairman of X, and it's a big. I'm not saying a big metal detecting club near me, and I'm going to meet up with him for a beer and all that. And it's just it. But I know. I've never met the guy in my life. My mate's dad, and who I've not seen for years, and him. But you know, when you sit down with someone who's a metal detectorist, you can talk about. You can just talk. And that's what I like about the hobby. You know, whether you want to talk about metal detectors, your fines or your permissions, or right down to what you wear on your feet that keeps the mud off. It's just a fantastic hobby. Really, really is.
Well, it's like Rodney Cook.
Which brings me on to you and detecting, Dave.
I'm not going detecting at Rodney Cook. I'm going to spend all my weekend chatting to folk. Sorry. Me and detecting.
At all?
What?
You're not?
God, that was via satellite.
Yeah, well, am I buffering or are you?
One of us is. To me, you are.
It's probably me. It's probably me. You're not doing any detecting at all at Rodney Cook?
I'm not bringing a metal detector. So I've got room for a metal detector. So.
Well, I had a big kerfuffle tonight. One went in, one went out. One went in, one went out. And in the end, I decided on two to take with me, and 2 spades as well, just to see how it goes. But are you going to go out and talk to people in the field?
Yes, hopefully so. We want to be able to interview people, so everybody can see what's going on. We did that a couple of years ago at Detectival, and it worked absolutely brilliantly. So I think when we went to Spring Detectival, none of us actually knew what to do because we were just coming out of COVID restrictions, and it was all a bit confusing as to what actually to do. So we just sat there and obviously went and said hello to the people who we knew at Regdon's and LP and other people like that. But then we didn't have a clue what to do, really. It was like, do we do interviews? So we're going to be going back to doing that, yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit awkward, wasn't it? Because you haven't seen, like when I bumped into Karen Becker, you sort of go up and you go, you can't. Then you
I didn't do that to Karen.
No, you just bear hugged everyone and broke 2 of my ribs. But yeah, no, it was. I think this Detectival, fingers crossed. I know COVID's still spreading and stuff, but people will be careful. But it'll be interesting. So, would you try out some detectors at Detectival? Because obviously, Nocta Macro are going to be there. May have a new machine. Don't know. Mind Lab might have a new machine. Are you going to be interviewing like the manufacturers as well?
Yes, we certainly hope to. We are actually doing a live big detecting show on the Saturday at 4 p.m. So keep your eyes out for that. Keep your eyes peeled. We obviously will be streaming it at different times as well, but we are actually on the main stage, on the big screen, doing a big detecting show. So we're hopefully going to be getting some of the people you've just mentioned on to the stage to interview during the event. And then obviously we'll be going live on Big Detecting Show Facebook page, probably, and other areas, and then just recording content as well. See, the problem I found is I was at a sealed knot event at the weekend, which is battle reenactments. It was at Cauldron Low in Staffordshire. They were doing the Civil War reenactments, and I was doing live videos. Now Facebook Live only lets you do your video in like that, whereas you want to do your video in like that so you get it properly. So downloading the videos off Facebook like that, like, you know, so I could use them in a video, worth doing, because it looks crap. So
yeah, but it's always been nice to keep up those who can't go to Rodney Cook or Detectival. It's nice just to see what's going on, what's happening, and, you know, people are thinking maybe I might go next year. It might not be great quality, but we'll see
it
what
is.
happens.
I mean, the Archaeology and Metal Detecting Magazine Facebook page, I think it had its biggest ever reach during Spring Detectival 2019, when the Hambledon Hoard was discovered, because we had people on site who were doing videos and such like for us, which we were able to share around. And obviously the reach of that Hambledon Hoard footage was astronomical for the Facebook page. I mean, we've got 25,000 followers on there, so, you know, a lot of them, well, not a lot of them, a lot of people did sign up during that period.
Yeah, no, hopefully something comes up I'm quite confident about Rodney Cook as well as Detectival, but I think there's some nice land there, and I'm hoping things will come up and there'll be a lot of interesting finds come up. One thing I've forgotten, Dave, which both me and you messaged me on Sunday, is Jason Massey.
Yes.
So if you just want to expand on that.
Sadly, Jason Massey had a medical event over the weekend, and was in a pretty bad way. I won't say what it is. If you know, you know. But he wasn't. He was very poorly. He's in hospital. Hoping that he's perking up. I've not had a chance to go on to. I don't want to contact him directly. It's not fair for people to contact him directly. So I have not been able to get onto the Digging for Veterans page because I've been a little bit busy. So from myself, from Luke, and I'm sure Adrian, yourself, and obviously everybody watching tonight, we all wish Jason the very, very best. I've actually got it written down to give mention to, but I've got my phone on top of it and didn't say it. So hope Jason's all right. It's not nice to anybody to be unwell, especially in the current climate again. But, you know, Jason, I think his event is going ahead. The Detecting for Veterans rally, which is the same weekend as Detectival. I think it's going ahead in some capacity, but the big event itself is being delayed for a period. So fingers crossed Jace picks up.
Yeah. Just sad news hearing that. Someone who does such good for people in the hobby, especially the veterans, he's fallen poorly, which is very sad. But anyway, fingers crossed. Hope he gets better, Dave, don't we?
Absolutely.
Are you camping on Rodney Cook?
Yes. I bought a tent because I learned at the Detecticon in July, and Mr. Dempsey will back me up here. I slept in my car, always groovy. I slept in it obviously a couple of years ago and found out I needed to get out the car for a wee in the night, which was a struggle. And then I pulled the boot down, and I had to ring Graham Dempsey to come and let me out in the morning.
Really?
So I thought, I think that's enough of the car bed. I'm going to have to invest. So I bought a tent. But I'm hoping that lovely Mr. Higgins has offered me accommodation for the duration. So if he's able to do that, but I'm planning on camping, yeah.
Right, that's good.
Which also reminds me, Adrian, where's my pen to write things on my hand?
Chemical toilet, baby wipes. No.
No.
Write it all on your hand. You could put it in that thing that costs like £1,000. You could put it in your phone, couldn't you?
No, I'll forget. So I've got PQ and R now. QPR. Me quilt and me pillars.
No, it's Ari roll. Adrian, are you still using the Rootus Alter? Does your DD have ground balance problems, or don't you ground balance at all? Right, if I talk a bit technical, Dave.
Crack on, I need a drink.
Right, Ari roll. Yes, I'm still using my Rootus, and I was out of it the other day, and I will be taking it to Rodney Cook along with a couple of other machines. I love my Rootus, still enjoy using it. I'm very much looking forward to the new one, which is supposedly in the line of being coming out soon. Maybe it might be Detectival, I don't know, but yeah, I use my Rootus. Ground balance, right. Couple of things here. With the Rootus, the manual ground balance, every time you turn it on, it asks you to do a manual ground balance. If you do a manual ground balance and it drops below 70, you're on heavily mineralized ground or you're over iron. Try it again. If it still keeps coming up 74, 75. If you get above 80, you're fine. Carry on 83, 84. If it's any lower than 72, 73, you're causing problems. Just go on the factory default, click the button twice, and use the manual, the automatic factory default. See how you get on. If it, try it in another 10 minutes or so and see what happens. But just I find with my Rootus, I ground balance probably 3 or 4 times in the first 5 minutes just to check it's got a nice sort of area. But the ground balance on the Rootus is really, I love it. I really do, because it really is. Sorry, Dave. Sorry.
I haven't got a clue what you're on about. You're just saying words.
No, but the Rootus is very, you control a lot on it. So
yeah, well, I had the Rootus, didn't I? And I was actually inputting Tony Cable's and your own settings into it and utilizing them. I've got to admit, thinking back, gospel truth, thinking back, and you'll believe this. When I was using Tony's settings, do you know what I found the most of? I'll just leave that there.
Yeah, in all honesty,
buttons.
Manufacturers spend thousands of hours developing metal detectors. They're not going to go out there with basic or coin mode and it don't work. So 9 times out of 10, in all honesty, you're best leaving it in the normal settings. Ground balance is very different in Europe. We've got a lot of different soils here compared to America or Australia, obviously. But if you leave it in the, Eric, who developed and designed the Rootus, he still uses basic mode with a few tweaks dependent on the ground conditions. So it'll be totally different. If anyone looks at the Rootus settings on the Rootus, I've forgotten the name of it. Detecting Expert. No, the Expert team website from Tony Cable. He'll put it in the chat. If you look at the frequency settings for a lot of people, they're a lot higher than mine. But where I am down south, the ground's dry and a lot of the time, and I run a lot lower frequency, and it's a great effect. But yeah, well, I could talk Rootus all night. I like that machine, but I have other machines. I have lots of machines. So
do you know what? One of the things I'm most looking forward to over this weekend at Rodney Cook. Hold on. I'm getting a new coil.
What, internal?
Yeah. No, silly.
I always thought you were.
One of them.
Oh, sorry. Is it begin with C?
I don't know.
The manufacturer.
Coil.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we won't talk manufacturers. When are you getting the new coil, Dave?
Tomorrow.
Oh.
I don't know what you're on about then. You're going to say. My new coil I'm picking up tomorrow.
Yeah, but there's a certain manufacturer.
Oh, right.
See, sorry. I got an interesting coil. Look at this.
I don't know.
Look at the shape of that.
That's nice. That's like a double D, isn't it?
Can anyone guess what machine that's from?
Quest.
Sorry?
Quest.
No, it's not a Quest. No, it's not a Quest.
Cheesecake.
It's a machine I received last. Well, what day is it? Last weekend.
Is it a Deep Tech Vista?
Only because you blinking know, you little champ, you scamp. Yeah, I've got a Deep Tech Vista X. Been out for a couple of years, and I had a lot of fun with that. A lot of fun with it. Only had it a week, and I actually took the Mickey out one a couple of years ago when it came out because it's so different. It's a fantastic machine. I'm testing it at the moment for Treasure Hunting magazine, and we've got a lot of stubble here at the moment, and the depth on it. The only issue is anyone who's new to the hobby will see that and completely freak out. They're like, "Oh my god, it's got 7 knobs," but I love knobs. So
yes, we know.
Yeah, and the shaft, the girth, and everything. But yeah, a lot of people out there who've had that machine really rate it. It's a bit old school, but Can I
ask? Have you? Like 2 of my friends had this machine. 3 of my friends actually. The Bliss tool. Have you tried that?
No, I haven't. No,
they've actually kept it. They've not sold them because they believe they're that good, because the depth is something very much like that with the what we'll call analog buttons and such like instead of the digital readout. But the depth that they've been getting off it, especially the V6, which is termed the Beast, they've been getting some fascinating results for 8-9 years with the Bliss tools. And I'm interested to. I'm going to actually contact them and see if they're actually still building them and whatnot, because you don't hear much of it now.
No. It's I don't know. I like things that are different. So anything that comes along that's new out there, I especially love it when there's no menus, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, we're so used to it. Like,
well, you've got to create your own, get the feel of it, and create your own program visually.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. The Rootus has got a very intricate menu system, which is really easy to use. Not that far off a dais, but sometimes if you just look and twiddle a knob, it's quite nice. I don't know. It brought me a bit back to old school, a bit like driving a Mark 1 Golf GTI rather than Mark 8 Golf GTI.
And have you actually made any discoveries of?
Yeah, too right. Yeah, James Eagle Eye DJ, who's was using a Knox 800 with me. Within half an hour, it's all on my Instagram, Treasure Field Tester, whatever. I found some 1700 coins, bit of Roman chain, and all in about half an hour. So, and it's there's no pinpointer on there, there's no VDI, it's just tones, which is what it's all about, really. So yeah, I was looking forward to it. I'll bring it to Rodney Cook, and I'll get my shaft out, fully extend it, Dave, and I'll give it to you to play with,
to feel the girth and such like, and twiddle with the knob.
Yeah, the girth's not too great. So
is it a light machine? Is it heavy? What's it equivalent to?
It's funny. It's a funny one. It's like the Rootus. It looks bulky and chunky, but when you get it in your hands, it doesn't feel heavy. So I made a big mistake. I trimmed my wife's bush on Saturday.
Yes, you did. I actually rang you up as you were.
You did in the middle of me trimming my wife's bush. well, it's both our bush really, front of the house, like 40-foot conifer thing. And
Oh, totally
petrol
thought you were talking
chainsaw.
about something else again, mate. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, no, petrol chainsaw, and I was doing that for like 3 or 4 hours, clearing it all up, and my arms were killing me. And I went out detecting the next day, and that was fine. That was fine. And I do find that it's all about the balance at the end of the day. So
I'm attracted to it because it's black with a big red X on it. It looks
it does look very
I actually contacted them via the Facebook page a couple of weeks ago. Before I knew you'd got the machine, to ask them, would somebody like to come on the show and discuss where's the origins with the deep
it's from Bulgaria, and without going into detail, without going into detail, Bulgarians was a lot of them were taken on board by the Nazis in the Second World War because they're very good at electronics and physics and things. So they're very good at designing things. It's one of those things they're good at. But yeah, it's all built and designed in Bulgaria. But it's not like your Equinox. It's not. I'll be honest. It's not as well made, and certain things are a little bit clunky and stuff. But
is it better than the Dr. Otek?
I would definitely say yes. Yes, I've never had a Dr. Otek. I will not have anything like that.
I had the Dr. Otek.
Yeah, I wouldn't. No. Don't.
Yes, I actually said, I'm sorry, I'm unable to review this machine, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, I won't. Like you and Luke, you quite often get emails, and a lot of people in the chat will get emails from Mr. Yakamushu, who's got a metal detector that goes down 4 foot, and he's going to send it to you for free. You put on YouTube's. Sorry, I'm getting all politically incorrect there, but no, I'm sorry. You all right, Dave?
I'm just shutting my window because there was the mother of all moths about to come in. So shut my window. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I won't even contemplate. The way I look at it, if you buy a metal detector and anything goes wrong, you want to be able to send it to John Smith Metal Detectors or LP or the Regston's to get fixed or sort out the warranty. You do not want to deal with Mr. Yakamoto in Taiwan and send it via Wish or sorry, I shouldn't say that, but yeah, you want to buy for a reputable dealer, which that came from a small dealer in Norfolk, Metal Detectors Online. I think they were the main distributor for it. So yeah, I won't tolerate cheap replicas. Anyway, I waffle on. Sorry. Kerry Fuller, they're talking about Carry On film, Carry On Detecting. I think that'd be a really good thing to do.
It would.
Maybe we could do that at Detectival.
I think that's a good idea. Can I? Who can I be? Am I going to have to be Bernard Breslaw, or can I be? Barbara
I'll be
Windsor?
Sid James. You be Bernard Breslaw because you're quite tall. Kerry Fuller can be Barbara Windsor.
Well, I've got
when she's doing that keep fit bit and
I know.
Carry On camping.
I'll be Hattie Jakes.
No. Well, yeah. Hattie. No, I think you brought Bernard Breslaw. Oh, I actually worked for a bloke whose uncle was Bernard Breslaw. My mate Kevin. He's how cool is that, Bernard Breslaw?
That is
but
cool.
I think that
the only way that could actually be cooler if his uncle was Brian Blessed. That'd be cooler.
Yeah, it would be. But there's so many people, I thought this the other week, so many people putting really good quality YouTube videos on. You know, it's Aaron Weedle, the DTech Sussex, people like that put really good, well done YouTube videos on. But no one does anything really, really funny, like a 4-hour review on a Dr. Otek on a campsite in Canvey Island in Essex or something like that. It would be interesting. And probably a bit of humour in the hobby would be quite interesting. I don't know. We'll see. Actually, if Aaron's in there, he did a really, really good review of the Garrett Apex upgrade this week, I think.
Oh, right.
The Garrett brought out an upgrade, and it was a 100% genuine, true review that him and LP did. And I watched it. I thought, yeah, hats off to you, because that machine's a good machine, but it's had a few issues. But he did a really good. I I'm nail board test. So if anyone's watching it, watch it on YouTube.
Do you know,
it's very good.
Without him knowing it, Aaron Weedle has made the Rodney Cook Memorial Rally. Has he? What is it, the next one? No, he's not. He's made the Detectival edition without him knowing. Or without me realising it until I zoomed in. JD finds.
Has he?
Yeah. Bottom middle.
Yes, he has. Yeah.
There you go.
I should know, shouldn't I? But yeah. Yeah, he has Just Detect finds, which people must remember when they're at Rodney Cook this weekend and Detectival. If you find stuff in the field, put it on Just Detect. Not only can it appear in the magazine, but I think it might appear live on stage, Dave, or something.
Potentially. What you need to do this weekend if you're Rodney Cook or next weekend at Detectival, when you're uploading your finds, it'll ask you event, give you the option to add an event. Obviously, this weekend, add Rodney Cook Memorial Rally. Next weekend, add Detectival. And then for me, sitting at home, if I want to see what sort of things are being discovered at Detectival or Rodney Cook, all I need to do is search #Detectival, #Rodney Cook. And all the finds that are being found over both weekends, you'll be able to see automatically. As we've said multiple times, some fantastic things on there, but do it. It's good to see stuff, isn't it? You know, for me, who doesn't go out in the fields, and obviously we don't get to speak to everybody, but the people we do speak to, we have a look at their finds. But being able to sit and, you know, have a scroll through Detectival in the evening when we're sat around a campfire having a beer, it's delightful to have a look at people's finds, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think also not many, but some aren't on Facebook. And will not go on Facebook, and but yet we'll sign up to Just Detect and things, and it's quite a pleasurable place to be, isn't it, Dave? There's not any banter or political incorrectness going on there, and it's just coins, buckles, crotal bells. Yeah.
Can you see this picture? You see it? Yeah, that's better, isn't it? Simon Dempsey sent me this. That's Graham's son. That's Graham sat in the pub watching us.
What, with his wife? With his wife? Poor old Graham. Don't talk about what the pencil.
I'll just see what he's had for tea. He's left. Whoever's is that at the front, they've left the skin of the baked potato, which is the best bit, and they've left all the lettuce and stuff, which is a good idea. Where are they actually eating at? Oh, they're at a Hungry Horse. I want a Hungry Horse now. What? Time. Let me have a look at the time, because it's nearly time. There we go.
Oh,
it's not. Natasha watches the show with him, so that's all right.
You're joking.
She always watches. Yeah.
Lucky him.
Only because he makes it.
Yeah. Is it time for the dips of the diggers?
2 minutes 13 seconds until the diggers dips competition. Kevin Black says he can't wait for Detectival 2021. He won his ticket on the Just Detect competition. There we are. Right, I will share the screen. No, not that one. That one. So don't forget, everybody, sadly next week there won't be a show because 57 seconds away. Oh, hold on a minute. Hold on, let me do a refresh. Oh, let me do over one. Right, we'll go with that because I'll be.
You've broken it.
There's 36 entrants this week, Adrian, by the way. I'll be travelling down to Detectival next Thursday night straight after work. I'll probably be pulling up there around this time in Chipping Sodbury. So, and Adrian and Luke will also be silly busy as well. I know Luke's work, his own personal work, is going ballistics at the moment. And I think Laura's going to be doing a few shows moving forward in the coming weeks. But you'll be able to see us live if you are interested. We'll be talking to the likes of Julian Salmon from Minelab on Saturday next week instead at 4 p.m. Hopefully, we'll get Pete Terrell, we'll get Nigel and Marcus, hopefully, and all other manner of people coming on this show. Because Detectival is, I think it's the event where most of the traders, stallholders are at, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, without a doubt, that's the big one.
And
I would
good
like
to see everyone.
I would like to just say that if anyone's turning up at Rodney Cook this weekend, wanting to buy books off Greenlight Publishing / Treasure Hunting Magazine, there's been a slight unfortunate event in the family of Treasure Hunting Greenlight Publishing. Someone's passed away, so don't worry, it's not Julian Evan Hart, but someone has passed away, and it may be a bit late setting up, or it might not be there Saturday. So thoughts go out with the family. Sorry, yeah. So it's an awkward one, but it was an unexpected thing. So
yeah, thoughts are with them guys anyway.
Yeah. So me and Jules will be there, but the stand may be a bit late or may not be there. Hopefully, it'll be there, but families
you can just stand there and look pretty. Number 7.
I did. Sorry.
Number 7.
I can't see the.
Oh, it's running. Luke, I'm sharing. Is it there?
4.
2. Pink Stuff. Ta-da! Wins Reading Beaches by J.R. Hartley. Second, Adrian is up to 36. I'll go 18.
11. Oh, Tony Kaywood's got me.
Tony Kaywood's got you what?
He picked 11.
Oh, right. 11 what? 11 buttons? From the Yorkshire Button Boy?
Yorkshire Button Boy. It's 11.
Oh, it's 18. I said 18. Philip wins the cleaning pencil courtesy of Composite Cleaning Pencil, Mr. Dempsey. And the third prize for 5 Diggers Dips tokens, Adrian?
28, please, Bob.
I'm going to go for 34 and see that there's a numerical order coming up. See if we can get it in. Come on, 34. Come on.
Now.
Oh.
Press it, Dave. Press it now.
21. 21. What did you have?
28, which is going to win.
Oh, 21.
Oh, gosh, suffering sucker.
Jamie Williams wins 5 Diggers Dips tokens. So, first prize this week, Reading Beaches to Pink Stuff. Ta-da! Second prize, Philip wins the cleaning pencil and 5 Diggers Dips tokens to Jamie Williams. You'll be contacted via Diggers Dips. And, well, there you go. Thank you to Diggers Dips and thank you to the Composite Cleaning Pencil. Marvellous.
I love that, Dave. Pink stuff. Ta-da!
Oh, mate, on the way home from work before, I was crying. Andy Goldstein, I think his name is. I listened to TalkSport and Darren Bent were on. And whoever that was in the background, the like Luke does, the producer, he kept on putting this. It was ba-da-ba-ba-ba. They were saying McDonald's, but it sounded like Elmo doing it. And every Andy Goldstein was laughing more and more at it. So this lad had just put it on and go, bah! Just constantly putting little beeps and he was crying. I was actually crying at them crying. Anyway.
I watched the Suffolk Sifter last night. You know Suffolk Sifter?
Mm-hmm.
And he had some very interesting he's found a website with sound effects, and all through the show he kept doing or woohoo, yeah. And do you remember in the early 90s when everyone had those key rings with like a Space Invader button on and a fart button? Do you remember?
I've got an R2D2 one still.
No, but do you remember? And he was like a kid on acid. Hats off to him, but he was like really enjoying it. But do you remember those key rings? I've got an
R2D2 one. You press it and it does R2D2 noises.
Oh.
In fact, what have I got?
I've got a fart machine somewhere. I still love it to this day.
Anyway. Mason's got the Minions gun, and it makes Minions fart noises, and that's quite funny. You know, in the film Despicable Me, them guns that the Minion have, big purple guns. It's
Yeah.
one of them, but it makes fart noises in Minion. That's quite amusing.
So you take it to work?
Oh, mate, do you know what one of my favourite ones is at work? Water pistols or spud guns. Love it. What?
I love a spudomatic.
Spud
Anyway,
guns
we should be talking metal detectors and archaeology, but we're talking spudomatic. Oh, do you know what'd be good, Dave? At Rodney Cook, if I get a lemon drizzle cake and get a spudomatic pistol, I can fire cake in your mouth all day long.
Or like the Phantom thingy thrower,
Flan flinger.
We could just fling flans at more cakes. Don't forget, if you are coming to Rodney Cook or Detectival, bring cake. Sorry, carry on.
Or beer for me, or red wine. I actually guess who was the first phantom flam flinger on Tiswas. If anyone gets that in the chat, I'll give them
a Reuters package.
Yeah. The first ever. You will never guess who it was. I was absolutely gobsmacked. I found out the other day, and he's a very famous comedian, British comedian. He was the Phantom Flam Flinger on Tiswas.
Was it Billy Connolly?
I'll tell you what I'll give him. If anyone gets it, I'll give them fines identified 2, which is worth like 20 quid. And if they don't get it in the chat, someone comes up to me at Rodney Cook or Detectival. Oh, they're going to Google it. No, it's got to be in the chat. Someone's Googling it. Philip Wills. Is he in the chat tonight? He'll get it. No, it's not Chris Tarrant. No, it's a comedian.
Jim Davidson.
Yeah.
I've got fines identified too. I Googled it.
Yeah, it's Jim Davidson.
I didn't know that.
The first Phantom Flam Flinger. Christ, that's a mouthful. Yeah, he was the first one on Tiswas. It's when he was sort of semi-famous and just did it for a laugh. So learn something new.
Absolutely love Jim Davidson.
He's got it. Yeah. Oh, Bob Hance, if you're a Detectival or Rodney Cook, come up to me. But yeah, interesting, isn't it? Of all the people.
Are you at Detectival or Rodney Cook?
He's probably just stumbled across the channel by accident and just thought, what's this? Right, said Fred and Gary Barlow.
Like Gary Barlow because I'm fat.
No, I'm Gary Barlow.
Oh, right.
No, I'm not. I'm just like Mincer in the field. Apologies for the background tonight. I just thought it was quite nice because it's this time of year. So, but
well, Adrian, I'm gonna wind the show up. We've all got to get up exceptionally early tomorrow. For those of you who are watching the show, please come and say hello at Detectival. You'll see me at the the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine stall. Come and get your free magazine, all free. Come and take 20 if you want to use them for some form of burning material. But it is an exceptionally good magazine. It really is. It's our best one to date, best looking one to date anyway. So, Bob Hance said he's marshalling at Detectival.
Oh, there you go, Bob. Speak to Karen. She'll point you in my direction.
Come and find me in the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine stall, and I will. Obviously, if needs be, you can leave it with me. But as I say, if you are there this weekend or at Detectival next weekend, please come and say hello. It's there's people coming up to me, talking to me at Detecticon, and I was like, "Who's that?" And they're like, "Yeah, I'm so and so. Watch the show." Ah, right, you watch the show. So
they were asking where the toilets were.
Yeah, I'm so and so. Want to know? I watched the show. Where's the toilets? Just follow the hum.
Dig a dorm behind them with a bottle of meth.
Pink bit. Hello.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for watching tonight with our special guest from overseas. If you get a chance, thumbs up the channel, please, on Facebook or YouTube. But thank you, Dave, for coming on. It's been very nice.
Thanks, Adrian.
Taking the time out tonight, mate. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Thanks for having me. And thank you for everyone watching as ever. Thank you to Luke and Laura producing the show. Certainly couldn't do without the teamwork that goes on. Everything that's gone on over the last couple of years and the future of the show is in fantastically capable hands, and we would like to grow with your help in any way, shape or form. So, ta very much. And hopefully I will see you tomorrow, Adrian, in the flesh. In the flesh. Again.
Twice in the year.
I know what's going on. And I'll see you, Mr. Higgins, tomorrow. And I will see whoever else is there at Detectival tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. I think. Yeah, there you go. Stephen Pettican. We'll see him on Sunday, and he says he will see me with cake. We like Pettican.
And Bob Hance, I'll be with Jim Davidson on the Bronking Donkey.
No. You can find you at Detectival in the Naked Detecting Arena.
Or the naked bucking bronco. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, everybody. Adrian,
Cheers,
thank
mate.
you as ever. And look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And look forward to seeing everyone else. Thank you, Luke. And good night, everyone.